Welcome back to Success with Steven. My name is Steven Smith. On this channel, we talk about all things financial literacy. And today we're going to be talking about Affinity Federal Credit Union and everything that you need to know. We're going to be going over the credit cards, personal loans, auto loans, all the products that are offered with this credit union. How do you become a member? And also data points finally to let you know all the things that you need in order to get qualified for all of these products and services. So without further ado, let's get started. Now, Affinity Federal Credit Union is the largest credit union headquartered in New Jersey. Affinity consistently ranks in the top 2% of all credit unions in terms of asset size, and they're also the 86th largest credit union in the country with 489 employees, 22 locations, and 229,030 members. I'm sure this number has increased. These statistics that I got from around 2023, so they are a little dated. I'm sure that since then they may have grown, so these may change if you look them up today. Let's talk about membership. How do you join Affinity Federal Credit Union? So number one, through associations and clubs. You can simply join the association or club that's right for you, and you'll be automatically eligible for membership once you are an Affinity member. Your immediate family and household members are also eligible to join Affinity. You can also join through your employer. So there are over 2,000 businesses that are part of the Affinity community. Once you become a member, immediate family and household members are also eligible to join. So this is the way that most of us will become a member. If you make a $5 donation to the Affinity Foundation, then you will be able to join this credit union. As you sign up, they will automatically prompt you to do this, and they will either charge a debit card or a credit card, and you can deposit up to $1,000 into their checking accounts when you join. And here's the online account application information. So by joining Affinity, you become a member of a full service, not-for-profit financial institution. And as a member, you are also part owner, and profits are returned to you in the form of reduced fees, better rewards, higher saving rates, and lower loan rates. So here's what you'll need to apply. You will need your social or a taxpayer ID, your government issued ID, passport or driver's license, and then a credit card, a debit card, or bank information for that initial deposit of $5. Applicants 17 and under will need a joint applicant who's 18 or older. So you will need to at least be 18 to join this credit union by yourself. And when you go to join, it's a pretty straightforward process. Once you e-sign the consent form, it'll ask you to join here, and then you fill out basic information: first name, last name, your email address, your method of verification, which will be your phone number, either call or text. Once that's done, it's going to take you through the process of entering all of your personal information, identification documents, upload your ID. It'll take your debit card or your credit card in order to make a deposit. This is also a way that if you have a credit card and you want to charge it, it can charge up to $1,000, and it would be cash in your actual checking account. And that's on the initial deposit of this account. So go through the process, set that all up, and they will send you an email letting you know that they are currently working on your membership. It may take around 24 to 48 hours. They will contact you by email, letting you know that your account is set up. By that point, you would have already made a login. Your username and password should already be saved to your computer if you set it up that way, and then you can log in. All of the account information will be ready for you, and then in 7 to 10 business days, you'll receive your debit card in the mail. So now that we've talked about how to join, let's talk about the checking account information. So there are 3 major checking accounts here. One is going to be for the cashback debit account. You can earn 1% cash back on everyday debit card purchases with no minimum balance required. You also have the Cashback Plus account. You can earn up to 10% cash back on debit card purchases and enjoy nationwide refunds on ATM withdrawal fees. You also have the high yield checking account, and this one is actually really cool. If you're watching this, you have to go online and check because these rates will change. But currently, at the time of recording this video, you can earn 5.50% APY on accounts with balances up to 15,000 plus. Enjoy nationwide refunds on ATM and withdrawal fees. Now, if you guys understand how great that is to have a high yield checking account that can give you returns like that, That is amazing. That is really, really good, especially if your money is going to be sitting in that checking account or if you're going to be depositing money constantly. That was one of the best things I actually saw about this credit union. Also earning up to 10% cash back on debit purchases. I mean, that is amazing. You can technically get both of these accounts, sit more than $15,000, earn that amazing high yield, and also get 10% cash back on debit card purchases. I mean, that alone in value is amazing. Let's go to the website and we're going to learn more about these accounts. All right, we are on the Affinity Credit Union website. Let's start with the cashback debit account. We're going to learn a little bit more about this one. There are some additional perks here, as well as the 1% cashback on everyday purchases. You get access to over 30,000 fee-free ATMs, plus unlimited check writing and withdrawals, and no fee checking when you sign up for e-statements. You also get paid up to 2 days sooner with direct deposit. That is another feature that you have here, which is really nice. And the Affinity cashback debit card is, of course, free. Why pay for everyday items when you can use the Affinity card to earn a little bit of cash back? You also have some additional features for times when things get tight. You have standard courtesy pay. It's automatically included. It covers you if a check or outgoing ACH transaction, automatic bill pay, or reoccurring debit card transaction exceeds the available balance. So you'll want to look at more details about that. There's the debit card courtesy pay. It's optional coverage for a one-time payment to cover a debit or ATM transaction that exceeds your account balance. There are no fees for transactions under $75. You also have the overdraft protection plan. You can opt into this service. It's offered to you when you sign up for membership, but of course, read all the details. It links to your checking account to another eligible Affinity account to automatically transfer funds when you've exceeded your account balance. There's also an overdraft line of credit. Now, this is something you have to apply for. It is a hard credit pool. You apply for a line of credit to automatically transfer funds. In the event of an overdraft, you will only pay interest when you use the line of credit. So just know that that is a product you are applying for. Now, I'm looking at the FAQs. Technically, Affinity offers two types of checking accounts. It's the cashback debit and more checking. But the difference between them is that the cashback debit has no minimum deposit. And then with the other account, you're looking at a balance of $1,000 at minimum that has to be maintained in order for you to earn some dividends. Now, it is optional which one that you choose, just whichever one will serve you better, or you can actually have more than one if you're going to use things like that overdraft protection or transfer options and things like that. You can have multiple checking accounts. And then it just goes over some basic things like, is there a limit on the cash back that you can earn? And you can earn 1% cash back up to $1,000 in debit card purchases every single month. That's up to $120 per year. So just know that it's not unlimited cash back. You can only earn up to $120 per year. They also give you the requirements for opening up the account, which we know is you have to be 18 years of age or older to do it by yourself. And is the number on my Affinity cashback debit card the same on my checking? Of course, it is not. It's going to be a separate number. It shows you how to move your direct deposit, which we all kind of have an idea about that, but you would get the account number, you would get the routing number, and then you would submit that to your payroll department or whoever does your current payroll. It lets you know how to avoid overdraft, but there are a lot of options here for overdraft protection, so you should be covered with that, and a lot of them are free opt-in. And that checking line of credit is the only one that you have to actually submit an application for and be approved for. And finally, can you use your Affinity cashback debit card for mobile payments? And yes, you can. You can add this to your wallet, your Google Pay, your Apple Pay, and your Samsung Pay. We're now looking at the cashback checking, and that's the one where you can earn up to 10% cash back. It lets you know here that you can maximize your earnings using this debit card. And then it gives you a 3-step process. So you want to complete at least 12 debit card transactions every month to meet the requirements for that cash back. You need to set up direct deposit. You have to have at least one direct deposit or ACH credit transaction of $250 or more. Number 3, you need to enroll in e-statements. You need to be opted in. This is an option you have to check when you're filling out the membership application. You'll probably see it because this one is free. If you do paper, it costs, I believe, $2.99 or somewhere around $2 to $3 per month in order for you to do that. And then it gives you the benefits, of course, the rewards. Now, when it comes to the 10% cash back, I don't see anywhere where there is a limitation. It says that there are no categories, but just keep that in mind. It'll probably be somewhere in the details. Now, the last account that we're looking at is the high yield checking. Now, even though they don't categorize this as a checking account, I'm looking at this like it's the same exact thing. Technically, it's a high yield savings account, but it's a checking. So you can earn 5.50%. That is at the time of recording this video. Of course, this is subject to change. And qualifications to earn, same thing. You have to make at least 12 debit card transactions every single month. Same requirements for the direct deposit, and you need to enroll in e-statements. Now, why would you want a high yield checking? Well, this is really, really cool because it's flexible. It combines all of the benefits of having a high yield savings account. You earn 5.50% APY on balances up to $15,000 and 0.5 APY on every dollar over. So essentially, you really only need to leave $15,000 in this account. Any more, you're not going to get the best benefit for a high yield savings. At that point, you can get a real high yield savings somewhere else and leave any additional money there. But to have that in your checking is a wonderful feature. I mean, most banks earn like dividends of 0.001 or something very, very low. But in comparison, you know, if you were to compare like Navy Federal, there's nothing like this that offers that much cash back for that type of balance. It's really cool. Not to mention there is no monthly maintenance. All right, now that we've covered all the checking accounts, let's talk about the savings accounts that are offered by Affinity Federal Credit Union. Now, here are all the savings account options. Whether you're saving for a special purchase, you're building an emergency fund, or simply saving your pennies for a rainy day, there are products that are designed to meet your needs. So let's start with the Smart Savings. Now, this is the smarter way to save and jumpstart your savings by earning up to 3.7% APY when you open a Smart Start savings account. Now, when you earn that, it's on the first $10,000. After that, it is reduced. There is no minimum balance that is required, and there is no minimum opening deposit. And some additional details here, you earn 8 times the national average of what you would see for a savings account. These rates are very competitive at the time of recording this video. There are 0 fees, and it's federally insured up to $250,000. I believe this is a really, really good product. However, there are a lot of savings accounts that you can find, high yield savings accounts rather, that do offer more than 3.75%, and it goes well over $10,000. So this is a very good option if you want to keep everything in one place, but there are some better options if you want to save money. Now we're looking at the high yield savings accounts. Now this is a little bit better. It's designed for balances of $100,000 or more to earn a competitive 3.40% APY to grow your savings faster. And you can earn that 3.40% APY on balances of $100,000 or more with no minimum balance. Now, there are high yield savings accounts that do offer more than this. However, I believe this one will maintain this amount throughout probably the next few years. There are currently some that are around 5% or higher. I think I've seen as high as around 6%. But as interest rates come down, you're going to see that a lot of these high yield savings accounts are going to be reducing that percentage. I get notifications all the time about American Express. Their high yield savings accounts have already started to reduce what they're offering. So this might be very competitive as long as it maintains like this throughout the next maybe 3 to 4 years. If it does, it makes it much better than a lot of the options that'll probably be out. And it shows you here, if you were starting with a balance of $100,000 and you did a monthly contribution of $100, you could have $125,032 in your account within 5 years of these inputs. I think that is really good. Again, there may be some other options that are better right now, but over the length of this time in that 5-year period, as things start to go down, this may be very good for you. Now, the more savings account earns up to 2% APY with 4 account balance tiers, and you can earn some dividends at each successive tier. So there is no minimum opening deposit. There's also no minimum balance that is required for you to use this account. And then a lot more savings that you get. Of course, it's federally insured. Again, no monthly fees. You have the 4 tiers. It has daily compounding interest, total access. So you have unlimited transfers, unlimited withdrawals. Some of them will either penalize you or take away some of the interest if you move or take money. So that is a great feature. And there are current rates here for 1% APY, 1.15, 1.5, 2% based on the deposit amount that you have. So of course, the more that you deposit, the more that you'll ultimately gain. And the last savings product that we're looking at is the Affinity certificate. So guaranteed returns on your funds. It's going to lock in your rate with terms from 1 month to 5 years. That's rates up to 4.25% APY. So there are promotional and bump up certificate options available. The minimum deposit on this one is as low as $500. So you do have to have at least $500. There are flexible term options, again, from 30 days to 60 months. So CDs are very good if you want to save money for the long term and you want it to be guaranteed. You also don't plan on using this money within that time frame because, of course, there are penalties for you taking it out. So, look at the other ones that don't have penalties and you may be able to pick which one is better for you, but you can earn more with 8-month promotion, 4.25% APY on balances of $500 or more. There's also 14-month promotions going on right now, as well as 22 months. You'll notice that with the longer length of time, they're going to be reducing the amount that you get because it's guaranteed. You're going to get it no matter what. There is a little special right here where if you do $100,000 or more, you actually get a little bit more than $50,000, and that's for 22 months. And that's the promotion. And it's a low risk way to save for your retirement. And there's a calculator here that gives you an example. If you were to deposit $100,000 for an 8-month term at 4.25%, after 8 months, your account balance would increase by $2,810. So you would gain $2,810 in 8 months just from leaving $100,000 in this account. Here's the thing. Certificates, again, you cannot take them out. You have to leave them in there. There are high yield savings accounts currently at this time, at the time of recording this video, that will give you more than that. And you can really move the money around with no penalties. So I can't say that I recommend this certificate, but as interest rates go down, this becomes a lot more attractive as that happens. Let's take a look at the Affinity Federal Credit Union personal loans, and then we're going to get into a couple of different options that they have with these particular loans. So Affinity makes it easy for you to borrow at low rates with repayment plans tailored to your needs. And there's a couple of different features that you have here: low fixed rates, flexible terms, no hidden cost, and you can apply online in minutes. We'll get to the data points at the end. I'm sure that you're wondering about all the data points, the hard pulls. I will get to that at the end. But let's just go over all of the loans that are offered currently. There are debt consolidation loans. So if you're looking to consolidate high interest credit cards or unsecured debt, that might be a great option for you. You also have student loans that you can apply for. And I'm not going to go over the student loans. I just want to mention that they are available here. You can look at this whenever you take a look at the credit union to see the terms, the rates, what they're offering. I also do want to mention as well, because I'm not going to go over this in great detail, but there are HELOC loans, there are mortgage loans that you can take a look at. Now, for HELOC, that is a home equity line of credit. It's a 5.99% intro APR for 12 months, and then it's going to change, and they can be as low as 7.625% APR, probably going into the following year. I am going to talk more about HELOC loans. I believe they are a wonderful product. It's just right now, the interest rates are just way too high currently on them. Now, one of the features that I like about the Affinity Federal Credit Union auto loans is that you can get pre-approved. So when you get pre-approved, you'll be ready to buy with rates as low as 5.19% APR. Currently, since I've been looking at auto loans, I just got 2 new cars. I will say these are not the best rates that you can get for an auto loan. However, if you already built some rapport and you have a relationship with Affinity Federal Credit Union, then it might be a good option. The best thing is you always have the option to do a refi with another credit union if a lower rate comes around. So you can look at PenFed, you can look at Navy Federal. There are other options. So once you get a car, you're not locked into it again. You can always do a refi. But at Affinity, they make the auto loan process easy with competitive rates and a variety of loan terms for you to choose from. There are no application fees or prepayment penalties, which is always good. And they'll even give you a 0.25% APR rate discount for setting up automatic payments. So that is another feature that you may want to look into. But there are rates for new cars, used cars, lease buyouts and refinance, motorcycles, and RVs. There's also enterprise car sales. So with enterprise, they'll make your first payment up to $400 and give you Kelly Blue Book trade-in value on your vehicle. So if you're interested in maybe getting a car with enterprise, that might entice you. There's also the Costco Auto program. If you shop pre-owned vehicles easily online from more than 3,000 hand-selected dealerships nationwide, you can get a Costco membership or $50 Costco shop card when you purchase the vehicle through Costco. Now, the reasons to choose Affinity: there is a free 45-day pre-approval that lets you shop with confidence. Most of them give you 30 days. With Affinity, you will get 45 days. You do have competitive rates for up to 96 months, which is, pretty long. I would say that's fairly long terms, not abnormally long, but it is nice to see that. And financing, even if you owe money on your current vehicle. So if you still owe money on your current car, your truck, or SUV after trade-in, they might be able to help you. Normally, what that means is that there's going to be some negative equity on your vehicle. They're going to tack the negative equity onto your new car, and then you'll basically continue paying the remaining balance on that vehicle with your new vehicle. But that does get a little tricky. I don't recommend it if you can help it. But they do seem to give you a little bit of assistance when it comes to that additional balance that you might owe on your vehicle. And that's pretty much it. I would say for the auto loan, it's probably like a 6 or 7 out of 10. It's not fantastic, but if you're already looking at some of their products and you want to keep everything in one place, this may be a viable option for you. All right, let's talk about the Affinity Federal Credit Union credit cards that are offered. I know a lot of you probably came here just for this. This is the 4 cards that are offered by this credit union. The first one is the Cash Rewards Visa. You can earn up to 5% cash back on everyday purchases. I have seen initial starting limits for this card of $15,000, ranging all the way up to $30,000. I would say $25,000 is like the high that you can get without showing W-2s or tax returns. $25,000. Now there's the Pure Rewards Visa. You can earn points for every dollar that you spend. There's the Premium Visa, so you can enjoy low APR on balance transfers and purchases. That's one if you were looking to consolidate some debt as opposed to getting a consolidation loan, you may want to look at this Premium Visa card. Now, if you are someone who is actively working on your credit currently and you want to get into this credit union and start getting those high limits, look at the secured Visa card option. You'll build your credit without paying any high rates or fees. From what I'm seeing, they have the same type of setup as most of these credit unions. After 6 months, they'll consider you for graduation, and then you'll be able to go to one of their premium cards. And from there, you'll be able to get high limits. So even if your credit is bad, that does not prohibit you from being able to grow with this credit union and also get high limit credit cards. So let's go over to the learn more option and we'll get more details about each one of these cards. So let's start with the Visa Cashback Signature Card. You can earn up to 5% cash back every day. Plus, you get $150 cash back when you spend $3,000 within the first 90 days of account opening. So here are the options for you to earn cash back. 5% cash back at Amazon. So you can earn 2% at gas stations, 2% at grocery stores, 2% on Netflix and Spotify, 2% on Uber and Lyft, 2% at restaurants, and 1% cash back on everything else. So there are choice categories that you have, but if you spend a good amount of money at Amazon, this might be worth it for you. So the rewards that you want without fees, you get that $150 cash back, no annual fee. There's no penalty for missed payments. That's something I haven't seen. So Affinity does not apply increases for missed payments. You also can pay with points in order to pay for qualified purchases. There's 10,000 bonus points when you spend 25,000 within the first year of opening your account. And there's no foreign transaction fees for traveling abroad, which is also a really good feature. Now let's move on to the Pure Rewards Visa card next. Now for the Pure Rewards Visa card, 5K points when you make $10,000 in purchases in the first year. So you have a very, very long amount of time for you to do that. There is no annual fee. And then they also have all of these additional rewards, flexible rewards to redeem for cash back, for merchandise, for gift cards, travel, and more. Unlimited points. I like that. They don't expire. There is no expiration date, and you can earn as much as you like. It's dollar per dollar. There's no penalty for missed payments, so they do not give you that penalty once again. You can pay with points for qualified purchases. There's Visa Zero Liability, so you're protected if your card is lost or stolen, and 24/7 concierge service. Now let's move on to the Premium Visa card. Now the Premium Visa will be the lowest rates that you can get with Affinity. And these low rates will make it easy if you have any balance transfers or if you have any existing debt. So with the Affinity Premium Visa credit card, whether you're making a big purchase or transferring an existing balance, you get the same low APR, plus you enjoy some added benefits. But these are the same benefits that we just went over, so we don't have to take a look at that again. Now the APR here is not listed, so I couldn't actually tell you exactly what that APR is. More than likely, it's because it's subject to change. But if I had to make a guess, it's going to be somewhere between probably 3% or lower for potentially a promotional period of time if it's not 0% APR. I'm also assuming they don't mention it because they change the promotion depending on the economic climate. So I would just, you'd have to apply for it to know for sure. Or you can call and ask, I assume, to find out what promotion's going on at the time. But that's going to be the best one if you're trying to lower interest payments for debt that you currently have. Last but not least, our secured Visa. So you want to build your credit responsibly. Now, why would you want this card? If you're currently trying to rebuild your credit, this is the way you can get in and you can get $25,000 of credit line. It won't happen initially. You need to build your relationship. If you are going to do so, you can do that by getting the checking account, the savings account. I would get, of course, their premium ones. There's only two. So I would get the second one that requires the $1,000 minimum balance in order for you to earn. And then I would get the general savings account. Then I would get the secured Visa. There is no annual fee. It is a 9.40% low variable APR, and it never goes above 18%. You build your credit without paying high fees. Now, with that being said, from what I've seen from data points, after 6 months, they're looking to graduate you to where you can earn more money with this card. And then I also just want to go over the FAQ about the secured card. So here's a question. Is it hard to get a credit card from a credit union? And it says here, if you belong to a credit union, the staff will typically try to work with you to help you get access to the financial services that you need as a member. So for example, if there's a problem with credit scores, it may be easier to get the credit card you want from a credit union compared to getting a comparable card from a bank or other financial institution. So they're letting you know that they're working with you in order to get the credit card products that you need. I would suggest that you work with them, get the secured card option. Try to use that responsibly for 6 months and then look at graduation options. You can then possibly go to the Cash Rewards Visa. That's the one I would primarily focus on. I believe it has the best reward options for you, and you can get up to $25,000 from data points that I've seen without you having to provide any type of proof of income. But beyond that, if you can provide that proof of income, I've seen limits for $30,000 on this particular credit card. So now let's talk about the business membership with Affinity Federal Credit Union. I want to do a separate video on this because I did apply for the business membership, and the personal. So there are two ways that you can qualify to become an Affinity business member. Number one, all of the owners, principals, and authorized signers who will be on the business account, they must be personal members of Affinity, or your business can register free of cost to become a select employee group of Affinity. This also enables you to offer credit union membership to your employees. So if you register your business to become a select employee group of Affinity, you don't have to be a member personally. You don't have to sign up for the personal. I did this and I just did both. That way I can have, some data points, but you don't have to sign up for their personal account in order to do this like some other credit unions. So keep that in mind. All right, let's talk about the business checking and the savings accounts. So there are two business checking accounts that are offered. You have the Business Basic. This is great for small to medium sized businesses and fulfills all of your banking needs. There's a 200 free transaction amount that you can do per month. There's also ACH origination available. You can pay your bills in minutes, and remote deposit capture, RDC. Then there's the Business Performance Checking, and this is a business analysis account. You're going to be doing a lot of business transactions. This is optimal for high volume. If you're not doing high volume, just get the regular Business Basic. But it's definitely for large businesses. And they'll probably, if you're doing that, they're probably going to try to offer you a bunch of other products and services. So for me, I probably would stick with the Business Basics for now, just to get started. Now, when it comes to the business savings accounts, it looks like there's only actually one business savings, but there are some options. You have a business certificate, which we went over that, but you can earn 4.25% APY, and there are 6-month promotional certificates. You also can maximize your earnings by putting them in the business savings. That's the one I would probably get. It's no service charges and no minimum balance fees. And then there's the Business Money Manager. You can save for your business with Affinity, and you can earn up to 2.75% APY, early access to your business money, and save for future expenses and purchases. So to get started, I would probably just look at the business savings, that basic checking, and then, stop right there, put some money in there, and then start looking at the credit card option. All right, so now we're going to take a look at the business credit card and loan options with Affinity Federal Credit Union. So this is the Affinity Business First Visa credit card. You can earn rewards for your business. The Affinity Business First Visa credit card offers low rates, no hidden fees, and there's a reward program that lets you earn points for everyday purchases. Plus, you'll enjoy the security and savings additional benefits that they offer. There's no annual fee, 5,000 bonus points, 1 point for every dollar spent. You can earn up to 6x points. You redeem points for rewards, and there's no penalty fees like the late fees. Now, there is the security feature, of course, fraud protection, online shopping. You also have additional savings with the Visa Savings Edge discount. You can enroll that with your Infinity Visa business credit card, and it'll help you save a little bit extra money. And of course, there's peace of mind for travel insurance, auto rental coverage, extended protection, and emergency cash or card replacement, no matter what happens to your card. Now, there's only one credit card that I can see here when it comes to business, and this is something that, again, you need to contact them in order to apply for. And the next thing that we'll be going over is the data points after I take a look at the loans. So the business loan options that are included with Affinity Federal Credit Union would be a commercial mortgage loan. They also have SBA loans and commercial lines of credit. Now, for those, I don't have the data points on them, but for a SBA loan, I've done one with US Bank. I do know that more than likely to qualify for that, they are going to require, if not documentation, they're going to require at least proof of income, and they're going to want to see some bank statements, probably 90 days. For the commercial line of credit, they may not require anything from you as far as tax returns, but once again, they will probably want to see some proof of income for $50,000 or more. That's kind of standard that I'm seeing with all credit unions. So now that we've gone over all of the products that they have, let's go over the data points for this credit union. Now, Affinity Federal Credit Union pulls from check systems in order to qualify you for membership. They also pull your Experian FICO 8 score. Now, for the Experian FICO 8 score, this is on the personal credit card side. I believe it's the same for the business, but again, I'll be able to confirm that later on. I'm going to probably make the video whether I get approved or not, just because I want to have the data points out there. But for now, unless there's a new video that I make and I tell you that, I would go with Experian as the place that pulls the credit score. Credit line increases will be every 6 months. There will be a hard pull if you submit a credit line increase. It's not a soft pull, but every 6 months, you can request a credit line increase. They are very proactive with giving you credit line increases automatically. So if you don't want the hard pull, don't request it. If you request it, it will be a hard pull, but you can do it every 6 months. If you don't request it and it's automatic, it will not be a hard pull on you. So if you wanted a soft pull, there's your option. There is no documentation that's required for their credit card products or the business credit card products. There's no geo restriction. You don't have to live in New Jersey in order to get access to this credit union and their products. You just have to do the membership options that we showed, and you'll be able to join. Now, they are conservative on loan products. I think you're going to see that with most banks right now and credit unions. They basically do exactly what you expect from smaller credit unions. If you have credit seeking behavior, they're likely to deny you. It depends on how many new credit card accounts that you have and inquiries in the last 12 to 24 months. When you apply, I recommend having less than 2 hard inquiries, a credit score of at least 680 plus in order to get some of their credit card options with the higher limits. Now, $1,000 limit to fund your account with a debit or credit card. Again, if you want to fund this account with a credit card, you can do it up to $1,000, and it's not a cash advance. If you want to just be able to do that and make that liquid, you can do that in order to get your account started with $1,000. And it's the same UI as DCU. It's similar pre-approval offers in which your account, after a certain amount of time, you will get pre-approved for most of their credit cards. There are some rough stats for starting limits, but what I can say is about 70% saw limits under 15,000. So depending on your credit score, depending on your credit profile, you could probably expect 15,000 or below for a majority of the people applying. 20% or so saw approximately 20,000 to 25,000 as their starting limit to begin with this credit union, and 10% saw near the 30K area. And these were all initial credit limits. When you open the account, that's what it started with. And this was for the cash rewards card. My recommendation, if you have a 680 Experian FICO score, you should apply for the credit card right away. If you do and you have a credit limit under 15,000, you can request a credit line increase every 6 months. But like a lot of institutions, they base your credit line on what you currently have. So if you have other credit cards that are around $10,000 to $15,000, I would say go ahead and pull that trigger, because you'll probably get anywhere within that range. If you have $5,000 credit cards, expect 5,000. So just know that it's more than likely going to be based off of what you currently have. And if you have low limits, you may start off with a low limit, but every 6 months you can go ahead and request credit line increases. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you guys have enjoyed this content and information on this credit union, please drop a comment below. Drop comments with your data points. Look, if you are a member of this credit union, if you've applied for auto loans, personal loans, credit card options, drop the data points. Drop, how much you were approved for initially, how long did it take for credit line increases. All that information helps. I like to make each video a hub, a resource, a place for people to come talk and share information. So I would love it so much if you did that. Please like this video and subscribe. That lets YouTube know that this is good content and you're enjoying it. And I will see you in the next video. Thank you again, and you guys have a wonderful day.